Revenant today. So, if you haven't known, he's one of the new Warframes. Now, per lore-wise, how he works is basically Gara slayed a sentient, and he was the Warframe tasked to guard the slain sentient's prison, which was, I guess, in another dimension, world, otherworldly place. Basically, sentients get a heaven or hell or something to that in between. Limbo? Who knows? So, let's go on with Revenant and his kit. I named mine Famine. So, let's grab it. I haven't really fully completely optimized it yet. I think the last thing I would put in here, personally, just for my playstyle, is Augur Message. Just to get my duration up above 100%, but this is pretty much what I call a positive build. So there are no negative factors if I did that, but as I have fleeting expertise and not Augur Message fitted in yet, which would basically require 2 dashes here, or a dash, and then have this augmented to be for the special little polarity power drift is, which I can't remember offhand, which is called Zenric. Irony. And the reason I do that is with this giving me the percent bonus of shields, in combination with that, I'd have over, oh, I don't know. So with that, 24% shield, 80% shield spent, or 80% energy spent is re-added in. With fleeting expertise and not adding streamline, he constantly is getting a little more energy. Now, you really don't have to worry about range with Revenant. Why is that? Well, it doesn't really factor into what his kit works as. Now, we did on Xbox get the hotfix that applied the new Revenant rework, which is sadly something I wasn't expecting. Before anyone asks, this is the 2017 Syndana from TennoCon. I do get questions on a few of my Syndanas. Those are special. The 2016 and 2017 you can only get if you were going to TennoCon physically. So just FYI. So I applied the kunai, and I will explain the mechanics as to why I use that. But first, kind of demo why I use the kunai. With the kunai ribbon I have, plus Stockpiled Blight, it makes it rather effective because it punches through armor pretty much. Now if I had to form this one more time, I'd probably put Augur Pact in, honestly. Not really a crit weapon or a weapon meant to mass kill, but it's effective enough with this build to deal damage. I could even add that in. Or even concealed explosives. It's already silent as is, so it's rather effective. Not really sure what I would add there besides that right now, currently. That's probably why I haven't activated, or I would say used the Scourge, not activated, is because the Scourge is pretty good at ranged attacks while giving him the ability to throw it, and then in combination use the kunai with him. Now the kunai with the stockpiled applies a blight effect, which applies viral. The viral then cuts the enemy's HPs in half, also dealing damage, also giving Revenant energy. And the interesting part is it can be activated while his 4 is up. So while you're doing this is his 4. As you can see, range isn't really a problem. So as a demonstration. It doesn't show the icon initially, but once I do a Reeve, which is his 3rd power, you can clearly see the icon's active, and running around will scale it up. Very effective. So not only is it giving him energy back every so often, it's also doing viral, which cuts their HP in half, and further kills him faster. So it's kind of a scaling factor to help him. So with this, we've got a simulated system of going to, say, Mott, a high-level Mott at 150. No, I will not use invincibility. So just to explain, you always want to cast this power first. Now, as you see, I have 11. I can actually keep recasting that up while I'm down here. Every time he is hit, enemies that hit him become his little thralls. They give you a free cast of his one, which is Enthrall. I already have it activated. Now if you kill any of these guys, they'll release a pillar of light. And these new pillars of light now have these little heat-seeking things, which is basically Nyx's 2 reapplied. Also going near them, if you kill them with your 4, which is Dance Macabre, grants you augmented shields. As you can see, I now have a balance of 1,000 shields, 1,000 armor, or health, I'm sorry. So my health and that are really nicely combined to act as a cushion. As you can see, I can't remember what its name is. Mesmer skin is fairly low. I can recast overlay now and grant it. If I was actually damaged, I can reave through these guys and get some health and shields back. Now here's a factor that I hate. If they don't have shields, you don't get shields back, just health. I really think there should be a secondary benefit. He's very good at just stripping apart an enemy team by himself. So as a solo frame, he's really powerful. But as a team frame, he also provides benefits. If you reave through enemies while you have Mesmer skin active, you grant them the ability to have Mesmer for a short amount of time. I think it's based on the amount you currently have, or it's a one-off. I can't tell. My allies were not very good at talking to me when I was testing it. Now see, that's the downside of Hidden. And you're probably like, what just happened? Well, here's the issue. Even with my Mesmer skin being 11, these enemies can shoot 3 to 4 shots per hit. And look, it's not even affecting that one. Why, I don't honestly know. But as you can see, I'll just keep dying, because Mesmer skin itself cannot take multiple hits. It only applies 1 proc of hit to one enemy. So look, he's hitting me. Now, is this simulacrum chaos that we know it to be? The easiest thing to stop that type of enemy is to activate it, but as you can see, he's still shooting me and attacking for a little bit there. My Mesmer skin's already off. The enemy who was on mine is now attacking me still. Now, when his shields are depleted, he emits a knockdown pulse similar to the Eidolon. Now, see, that's what should happen, so I'm not sure why that enemy was allowed to. As you see, they don't really do much damage when they do a pillar, so they're fair to help strip enemies. I found the Sarpa worked really good for him, because you could do range attacks, so like say you're about to die, you can shoot outward and heal yourself. Yeah, because I have Life Strike. You can even do Healing Return. Honestly, the Digen's a better companion for him than most, I thought, because of his whole kit. It would help lure enemies to stop attacking him. And, you know, give him ample time to grab them. You're like, well, that simulation didn't do very well. And why was that? Because one of the Orokin here, I think it's the crewman, spawns the drone. Now, a spawned drone seems immune to his, well, Mesmer skin entirely, as are nullifiers. So if a nullifier shoots the Mesmer skin, it does nothing. And there was a bug initially where if he shot through his own bubble and hit you with Mesmer, it dropped your Mesmer skin in one shot. So, I'm not sure if that's the factor here or what. But we'll try this with just raw units. Now see, I have enough range so they can't hit me and I can just keep grabbing them. So what I do is I usually grab a group and let them kind of fan out. Grab some energy. Kind of start the process up. Now, if you hold your right trigger on Xbox or get action button otherwise, you will kill enemies faster and give yourself lots of shields. But now, as you can see, I already killed my allies and they've already spread back to 7 more units, so there is a benefit to having your one active. You really don't have to do much work other than flat killing. And so you just trim down the herd every now and then, let it spread. So I don't have enough energy to cast it. They're basically meat shields, I won't lie. Now, Reeve is handy because you can go through them. I have my duration slightly shortened so I can do that without too much of an issue. But, as you see, 95 less than 100 isn't really too bad. The benefit of the Sarpa, or even the Redeemer, I like the Sarpa, is it's quick. I can do this with bullet downs, and it knocks enemies away from me. So pretty much keeping me safe. You want to use your one basically as a meat shield. Summon as many as possible, let them do their thing, kill one every now and then, kill two every now and then, just to keep it spreading, and then you encroach through them. That's why I called it famine, so it's like a plague, you know, you're moving through. Also, if you reeve while you have Mesmer Skin up, you'll buff your Sentinel. As you can see, there's a mist effect on it. That's because I did this, and the Sentinel is actually in the path. You can do it to your ally Sentinels, Kavats, etc. So is there any synergies between Warframes, you're probably wondering? Well, Saren has some benefits with him, as does Nidus. Nidus can draw enemies in, he can pop them, convert them, and then the Nidus can kill them, or he can kill them, such as me. It's easier for the Nidus because he doesn't require the overshields, but the Nidus killing them grants it so they're dealing damage out of the way, plus creating rings of fire. So it's a nice infested Eidolon combo. What are the drawbacks of this kit, you may be wondering? Well, as you saw, Mesmer Skin, it can be recast, but it's not built to handle enemies of a certain type, or enemies, it's meant to if an enemy hits it. So let's just try this again, maybe it was just the simulacrum joke. Usually, I did Mott for about an hour with Revenant, I took 0 damage. Here, I died. Now see, look, it's a bug with the corrupted drone then. At least now it's my buddy and won't attack me, right? So, there are ways against that. Yeah, I can 3-shot a 150 with Sarpa. Guess I'll explain that mechanic, because people may be wondering. So the reason the Sarpa, in my opinion, is a better one, is the Redeemer, when it does a shot fire, it applies a impact proc. The Sarpa does bleed and slash, as well as puncture. So, I got a good Riven for the Sarpa, which just buffs up melee damage, slash, and status duration, which helps with the bleeds, as I stated. Reduces critical damage, but I honestly don't really notice it. As you saw, I did like 40,000 in one shot. So Prime Pressure Point, which you could swap with Sacrificial Pressure, Condition Overload, Life Strike, Drifting Contact, Berserker, Voltaic Strike, and Whirling Scourge. Now, I do have Berserker, and you're probably like, why? Why do you have that? Well, as I stated, it's a shotgun. Number 1, silent, so this is great for stealth missions, as you can just one-shot people from across, get your health back if you channel. But the other factor is, as it shoots, it actually shoots 3 pellets, so it does 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 little pellet stages. You can kind of see it. You hear it goes up at 2, 2, 2. So there are each 3 pellets. Each 3 pellets have around 5 to 15 shots, if I recall correctly. Don't quote me on that. But it's rather effective. Let's see, an easy enemy to test something. The reason I like the Scourge as an effective system. It's always difficult to find an enemy I want to try. Oh, let's try an Eximus Heavy Gunner. Just to simulate. Oof, corrupted drone. Okay, let's try this. So, there are synergies. So, example of how to do the synergies right. Let me think. Well, number one, always keep your Mesmer Skin up. As we've already established, without Mesmer Skin, he's pretty much too squishy. Even with 1,000 shields, 1,000 health, it can be bad. And this one's an Umbral one, so he's even got more health than he should. So Mesmer Skin plus his 1 are a forced synergy because even though it doesn't really cost much to cast, even with fleeting, let's just as an example, casting it to how much energy? Not very much. It literally almost instantly went back up. But you can cast it for free if you're hit with all your 1s up or your 2s up. It's like, okay, that's kind of pointless. Well, it even does impact also. So these towers really only do little particles of Nyx's too, which is getting removed, which I find that hilarious. We're removing Nyx's too, and basically sticking it onto Revenant. What? Anyway. So, not much more on that. I guess I should go over the Phantasm. I've only found one Warframe that had real synergy with it, honestly, and I thought it was rather a good combo. Yep, Nova. And I haven't even maxed it out yet, honestly, but so far just with this setup. So that leaves you 2 free spots. Have fun, Tenno. Now you're probably like, how does it help? Well, let's see. easy way to max out her too. Mine's a glass cannon build, so I should point that out. This is a speed nova, so let's switch over to a slow nova. C configuration is actually a chaos nova. What the hell is a chaos nova, you're probably wondering. Well, a chaos nova is a nova that can do speed and slow. Let that sink in. Yes, my nova can do both. I can do simultaneously speed and slow effects across enemies. Do I give out that build? I did a while ago. Never really got far, so. As an example. So not only does this give you a nice little benefit with Nova's thing, but it also, if you actually notice what the Phantasm does the same little needle darts that Revenant's 1 now does. So having this shotgun is basically just akin to having his 1 pillars active. Now this is a paused enemy, so it's not really realistic, but as you can see, it can strip armor fairly quick with just corrosive and radiation. To give yourself maximized damage, and you release. So I'm just going to pause because my Nova's squishy. I won't lie. I'm not even going to pretend that she's a hardcore frame. I did do index pretty well with her, but I'm going to switch her to invincibility just to show why there's a synergy with the Phantasm and Nova. You think of this as a bonus round. Also, the alt fire of the Phantasm will kill you, so don't stand too close. Let's have those big numbers, right? Very nice. As I explained, Phantasm plus Nova. Very good combination. So not only does it give her a nice little effect with just this active, raining constant death upon him while also applying little tiny needle darts that can strip armor. Very effective combination. So I mean, it's just an effective playstyle, really. I think it's a 150 with the armor. There's not much you can really do. Realistically, the thing that's really good with the Phantasm is multi-shot. As you can see, I'm shooting at you like 4 or 5 of these things, and it does a nice AoE. And then it spawns more and more of those things. What I'll call psychic darts. Downside, as you can see, I'm already out of ammo. So, there's a benefit and a downside to it. Well, that's a wrap. So, just as a summation, we've covered Revenant and the Phantasm, which is his weapon of his kit. Sadly, the Nodachi, or the large katana, Nakana, some people may call it, did not make it into his release, and that's because they're going to drop it with Melee 3.0, supposedly, is what they stated. So, thanks for watching, and keep on playing Warframe, Tenno.